I am a free Bulgarian. In place of liberty I live. Everything native Bulgarian I cherish, observe and adore. These are 4 lines from one of the most famous Bulgarian poems, I'm a Bulgarian by Varsity. Sadly, in just 4 lines, I found many mistakes which disturbed me. Ivan Vaso talks about how we Bulgarians are free and live in an independent country. But this is not the situation right now. Though officially we're a sovereign country, everything we see nowadays shows us that we are just the opposite. We are actually a modern colony. First, what do I mean by sovereign? Well, in order for one country to be sovereign, it must have an independent political and financial system. But Bulgaria has neither of them. Therefore, we're not really sovereign. Think about it this way. Let's say that my body represents Bulgaria, and that my left hand is the political system, and that my right hand is the economy. Imagine that both of my hands are chained up. These chains represent the foreign powers which actually control Bulgaria. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I will show you exactly how these chains work to literally and mentally enslave Bulgaria. Then I'll talk about why these chains even exist. Finally, I will talk about the key to unlocking these chains. Some solutions for us, the people. First, let's start with my left hand, or the political system. Our country isn't allowed to negotiate or make independent decisions about big projects regarding our national interests. The most recent example we have is the decision to stop the South Stream project, a pipeline which would have supplied gas from Russia to the European Union through Bulgaria. Our country was one of the most important parts of the project, and nevertheless, we didn't have even one person from our side negotiating and defending our interests. This pipeline was going to go to our whole territory, and nevertheless, nobody cared, nobody from our side on the negotiating table, period. In an interview after the decision to stop the South Stream project, our Prime Minister Burgas admitted that we couldn't do anything about it because the EU-appointed delegates were the ones in charge of negotiating, not us. How are we then a sovereign country when other countries and organizations decide in our name? Second, let's look at my right hand, or the financial system. Another reason why we're not truly sovereign is because we are in a currency board. That means that our currency is pegged to the Deutschmark, technically the euro. This means that whenever the value of the euro changes, the value of the left changes as well. Historically speaking, large empires created currency boards to control the economies of their colonies and keep them chained to the empire. Today, Bulgaria may not officially be a colony, but the situation with our currency demonstrates that we are in fact functioning as one. How can our country be truly independent and sovereign when our whole financial system is not? Bulgaria is not sovereign. We are a modern colony. And by modern colony, I refer to the concept of the political theorist Noam Chomsky. He describes a typical modern colony as a society divided into 3 classes. Please think about Bulgaria while listening. The first class is the rich class. This is the real power, the authority. The second class is the special class. These are the people who have proven their loyalty to the rich class. They are called politicians. They are the official authority. They are well prepared to do their jobs and have the support of the media, social and political experts. The third class is the confused herd, or the rest of the people. They just work and have no voice and power to make decisions about their country. The only thing they can do is to choose the people from the special class to govern them. Sound familiar? Chomsky's idea describes Bulgaria perfectly. Think about the body again. Imagine that the chains which bind the hands connect also to the neck. This neck connects to the head, which represents the collective mindset of Bulgaria. Our institutions are not the only ones in chain. Do you know who else is in chain? Our mindset. Our mindsets are of a modern colony. Think about it this way. Here comes the biggest question. Where does this mindset come from? Well, in my opinion, it started during the 500 years under the Ottoman yoke. And though life may have changed a lot since that time, deep down, our mindsets and attitudes have remained the same. You may ask now, how can you compare the time under the Ottoman yoke with life today? My answer is this. Think about Chomsky's model of all the three classes again. The rich class, the special class, and the confused herd, which I just talked about. Well, during the Ottoman yoke, our society was like this as well. The most important people in the empire were the Sultan and the empire's elites. Then there was the special class of Bulgarians called the Churbachi. They were in charge of the other Bulgarians and collected taxes. In order to become one of them, you had to prove your loyalty to the Sultan and the empire. So basically, there was a rich class, there was a special class, and there was a confused herd, and nothing has changed at all. So why haven't we changed? Looking deeper into the psychology of the Bulgarian society then and now, I've come to the conclusion that we've been trying to survive as individuals rather than survive as a nation. An interesting fact is that during the time under the Ottoman yoke, the rich or smart Bulgarians emigrated to other countries, just as we do right now. The smarter rich ones went to the Russian or Austrian Empire for their education and stayed in those countries. We still see that tendency of running away from your problems rather than facing them, because this is the easy way. And the consequences of this easy way are the following. According to a report posted by Deutsche Welle, Bulgaria is the oldest nation in the world with an average age of 43. By 2050, more than 33% of the population will be over the age of 65. Officially, more than 3 million Bulgarians live abroad. Unofficially, there are more than 6 million, which is more than the total number of Bulgarians who live in Bulgaria. 80+% of the people under the age of 30 consider becoming immigrants in the near future or right after they graduate. We aren't just facing a crisis. We are facing a catastrophe. We need to make a major change or there will be no Bulgaria anymore. The problems we face are complicated and the full solutions won't come with ease. But because we don't have time to waste, we should start now. We should start and make a radical change. A radical change which starts by us, from us, the people. We the people are the ones who can fully understand and defend our country's interests. We the people have to make this change. But to get to this point, we need to change the most important thing in one nation, and that is its values. And what are our values today? Pessimism, cynicism, individualism, self-interest. All of these values are values of an enslaved nation. All of these values have to change in order to have a change in Bulgaria. As Tolstoy used to say, everybody's thinking about changing the world, but nobody thinks about changing themselves. This is the situation we're facing today, from the government to the opposition, from the protesters to the counter-protesters, from the young to the old. Everybody's talking about a change, but nobody's talking about how. That's why even when thousands of us protest, nothing changes. That's why even when we elect a new government, nothing changes. Because the speakers might change, but the values remain the same. We need new values. Rather than cynicism, we need some idealism. The idealism which Leski and Botev died for. The idealism and vision that Bulgaria can be free, independent, and respected by the other countries in Europe. Rather than pessimism, we need some optimism. If you think about it, we're pessimistic about almost everything we got in our country. That's why the young people are leaving. They don't believe that anything can change, and they're just running away from their problems rather than facing them. And last but not least, instead of selfishness and just thinking about how the society can contribute to us, we need some altruism and thinking about how we can contribute to the society. Today, we must rise up and break the chains enslaving the body of our nation. But to get to this point, we need the key. And that key is our values.